Let's continue on our series Adventurous Action. If you didn't watch part 1 and 2, check the links in the description. From where we ended when King Gimwa kicked Jumong out of the palace, he followed Sosono and asked her to let him work for their clan. She told him that she can't afford to use a Prince of Buyo. Back in the palace, the king is handed a letter from Hyeonchugun City, but instead King Gimwa ordered the letter to be burned. Daiso's uncle, palace emissary, suggests that it's time for the king to appoint the crown prince. He continued that to reduce on the Han's depression, our country's roots should be deep and solid. King Gimwa asked him whether he have received the date of his death as well. Strong question. The king informed them that this is not the time to name the crown prince. Daiso and the family meet outside. His mom tells him to kill Jumong so that they can be patient and wait. Jumong moves around the town very hungry. One of Daiso's man, Naru, is spying on him at the moment. He moves out of the crowd and is attacked by certain serial killers. He tried to run, but it was too late. They have surrounded the whole area. Jumong, as funny it looks like, is trying to use his bag to fight against these men with swords. He tried defending himself, but they are equipped with weapons. Suddenly one killer stabs him and kicks him to the wall. They move closer to finish him, but luckily unknown man joins the battle and beats them. He's very dangerous with all types of kicking styles. Jumong at the moment runs away to save himself. The thieves who robbed his treasures sees him in a critical condition, so they decide to carry him and they rush him to Dochi's place. They ask Byang whether she can help him, because she knows him. She accepts. Daiso and Yongpo ask Naru whether he completed the mission. It's clear that they attempted to kill Jumong. In the loyal chambers, the king asks his man where's Jumong. King Gimwa kicked Jumong out of the palace, but still he sent some trained soldiers to keep eyes on him. Byang start to provide medical care to Jumong. She doesn't understand why the prince was harmed. In the prison, the guards ask their captain Musong to tell them some story. He refuses first and they give him wine, so he agrees. He continued from where he ended the last time. He goes, Lady Yowa met General Hamosu at the Damui army camp. This story touched Hamosu and he start listening. Don't forget that he doesn't remember who his, Musong continued. He saw Lady Yowa and thought that he was dead. Musong moves on with the story and Hamosu start having some memory recall. They asked him what happened to Lady Yowa. This drive Hamosu's attention. Musong replied that she was already pregnant with Hamosu's child. When he finish up the story, Hamosu calls him and asks him that Lady Yowa was really pregnant. Musong inform him that there are lots of different versions. After Musong leaving, Hamosu remembers everything. On the side of Chief Yuntabal, they talk about a certain trader Dochi, how he smuggles salt despite government jurisdiction. Jia comes and informs them that the divination palace sent maid to inform Yuntabal to visit the high priestess in the palace. So Sono requests to join and his father agrees. Priestess Yomilyu informs Yuntabal that she's going to connect him to the king. She escorts him to the loyal chambers where others are not allowed to proceed. Chief Yuntabal meets the king. The king asks him why would he conduct a business transaction with him. Yuntabal tells him that if you knew how the Suniban clan armed themselves with hand weapons, it would have been an easier battle. So Chief Yuntabal suggests to be providing the information to His Majesty. He continues how he have men in every corner of the earth. The Prime Minister informs the king that this will be a great advantage for Buyo. The king asked Yuntabal what he wants in return. He asked the king he would like to deal with all transactions between Han Nation and Buyo. The king agrees and the deal is confirmed. So Sono moves around the palace and accidentally trespasses into the training ground. We get to see Prince Daiso practicing his skills, including shooting arrows. He suspects someone spying on him. He attempts to strike her and missed, so he walks towards her with the sword. Daiso thinks that Sono is one of the new maids in the palace, so Sono shows him that she knows martial arts. Daiso thinks that she's a jockeying subject. Daiso decide they fight. They take a simple fight and Daiso still is not taking things serious until she shows him a super combination skills, so he decide to attack seriously, but still Sono is able to hold him off until the high priestess servant arrive at the moment, and call him Your Majesty Prince. So Sono shockingly realize that the person she was playing on is the prince and begs for his forgiveness. The servants inform Prince Daiso that Sono is Chief Yuntabal's daughter and they take her away. But Daiso seems to have liked her. At Dochi's place, we get to see Byang taking care of Jumong. At the moment he begins to recover. In the town, one of the thieves, Mali, calling out Musong as their big brother. Musong asks him whether they are still swindling the citizens. Mali asks Musong to help them to find something to do. He said, I don't even know what to do with myself. How can I help you? At the moment two men move around the city with the drawing of a certain man. We get to know that they are searching for Jumong. Musong recalls this face and remember Chumo, but they tell them that they never seen him before. Jumong apologized to Byang because she was sent out of the palace because of him. She tells him that she's too lowly to give a prince forgiveness. Jumong sadly tells her that he was kicked out from the palace and he's no longer a prince. Marley comes and informs his friends that there are certain people looking for the man they helped. At that moment Jumong steps out and they get to know that he's still alive. Jumong thanked them for saving his life. They ask him who he is and why he was stabbed. They told him not to make things bad for them, so they chased him away. Now Jumong realizes that life is getting worse. Jumong in a sad situation begs Byang to let him stay with her and find work. Musong tells Lady Yowa's servant how Jumong is being chased and is wounded. She passes that information to Lady Yowa. Daiso and the family talk about how they sent out pictures searching for Jumong but they are unable to find him. They are confident that Jumong is hiding in Buyo because he has nowhere to go. Yuntabal's daughter and others are spying on Mo Pamo the Buyo swordsmith. They want to engage with him to learn the secret method. Jia tells them that he will handle him. Byang introduced Jumong to Dochi as he wants to get a job. Dochi allows him to enter the group of smugglers. Buyang owes Juchi and he informs her that if she can't handle the debt, she know what will happen. That night, Sosono goes to a mission as they want to eliminate all the smugglers from the area. Jumong is included on the team of smugglers that night. They move down the river, but Sosono and the group are in the area ready to ambush. Dochi orders his men to get the goods onto the cart. Sosono also orders her men to kill them and they start shooting them with fire arrows. After they head down to finish them off, Sosono who remained behind sees Jumong technically killing her soldiers. She is shocked because Jumong she knows is very weak with no abilities. Wote puts down Dochi and is about to finish him, but Jumong was there and help him, so they decide to retreat. Dochi appreciates Jumong for saving his life. Jumong feels good as this is the first time someone appreciating his work. Dochi sends his man to find out who ambushed them. Sosono that night remains in a film of thoughts about Jumong. The next day Dochi's man, Han Dang, informs him that Yuntabal's group ambushed them. So he gets these 3 thieves and gives them a mission to attack Yuntabal's group. They attack and we get to see that they are very skilled fighters. The mission was to kidnap Yuntabal's daughter Sosono, but they engaged with the wrong news, but as men they managed to take her away. Yuntabal gets to know, he orders Seong to go see Dochi and find out what his demands are, then tells Wote to take fighters and place them around Dochi's domain. Dochi informs Sosono that his father is coming. Seong arrive and negotiate with Dochi, but he refused to discuss with him and orders him to tell Chief Yuntabal to come and bow before him. Dochi tells him that he will kill Sosono if he doesn't hear from them by daybreak. Jumong now realizes that Dochi kidnapped Sosono and he knows her because she saved his life multiple times. Seong returns back to Chief Yuntabal and informs what Dochi demands are. He advises him to bow before Dochi and accept all his demands. Chief Yuntabal agrees as the only way to save his daughter. Jumong sneaks to a place where Sosono is kept. Marley and the group decide to go have something to eat because they locked her. Jumong gets a chance to move inside and unties her. He tells her to run, but she doesn't trust him and she questions his motives. But finally he manages to convince her and she accepts. As they are running, Marley and the group comes back only to see Jumong helping Sosono to escape. As they have less time, Jumong decide to buy some time for Sosono to run. Jumong fights, but they are far better than him. He go after Sosono, but he was unable to track her down. Marley and the Yokbo beats up Jumong severely. Buyang comes and stops them. They question her why she's helping him. They insist to kill him until she tells them that he's a prince. They get confused and to figure out how to get out of this mess. Marley informs them that if they are going to die at Dochi's hands, they would rather take Jumong and run, as they have saved him twice. There's a chance of Jumong repaying his debt. Chief Yuntabal reaches Dochi's domain. He was there spying and realizes things are getting worse. Jumong wakes only to see Marie and Yokbo showing their respect to him. Byang informs him that she had to tell them. He returns and tells them Yuntabal has arrived, so they decide to escape the area. They ask Byang to go with them, but she refused because Dochi will harm her brothers and sisters. Dochi and Yuntabal meet. Dochi tells him that he wants silk 5 times the amount of salt Yuntabal's group took from him, and Yuntabal have to crawl between his legs. This is the best. Chief Yun accepts all, but he first want to confirm his daughter's well-being. Dochi orders his man Handang to bring Sosono. He comes to the storeroom only to find out that Sosono is not there. He comes back and inform his boss in privacy. Dochi decide to demand all Yuntabal's assets in Buyo as the way of hardening the negotiations. Chief Yuntabal insists on seeing his daughter first, but Dochi seems to stick on different topics, so Yuntabal decide to just leave. After Dochi orders for Byang and start beating her up asking where is Chumo, Marley and others, Yuntabal and the group returns home only to find So Sono there. Marley and the group take Jumong to their big brother at the prison, but he shows them that he knows this place and their captain. They tell him that they will treat him as their elder brother while he's outside the palace. Musong comes and he get to see Jumong. They move inside and inform him the whole story. They want Jumong to keep on staying here. Musong agrees. Musong decide to take Jumong to a hidden cell where he will be staying for a while. Coincidentally, he takes him to Hamosu's cell. Hamosu is able to recall his scent and tells him that they met before. In the palace, King Gimwa comes into the ironware workshop. They show him the sword they have just made. He tells them that there's no need to test it. He smash it on the metal stand and it breaks. He tells Mopamo that your skills are not yours alone in your life. They both belong to Buyo. He concludes by telling him not to waste time and begin again. He returns in the loyal chambers and calls for Daiso and Yongpo to entrust them with some duties. Daiso will take charge of the foreign ministry, so Chief Yuntabal will assist him. Yongpo will assist General Hugh Kai in strengthening national defense, and will be in charge with military training and battle tactics. Back in the prison, Jumong trains every day and the time has reached when Musong can't stand with him. Musong tells him to find a new teacher as he have nothing else to teach him. Jumong returns to the cell to rest. Hamosu asks him whether he's learning swordsmanship and this interests Jumong. They have a long conversation and Hamosu tells him a story about the Damui army. Chief Yuntabal is informed that Prince Dai-So has visited them. They move out and take their greetings to the prince. So Sono get to meet the prince for the second time. They move inside and have a conversation talking about multiple stories, and after he leave, but it seems like he's interested in So Sono. Marley and the group bring some wine and meat for Jumong. Musong hands him a swordsmanship scroll that he studied since Jumong can't find a new teacher inside here. Jumong share the meat with Hamosu. He tells him more stories about his past and the wife she loved most. That night Lady Yowa's servant, Muduk, meet Musong and he informs her that he knows where Chumo is. She right away takes the informs to her mistress. Lady Yowa tells her that she have to see Jumong immediately. But there's an individual spying on them. We get to know that his Daiso's man, Naru. They reach the prison. Jumong is busy reading the swordsmanship scroll. Hamosu tells him to put it aside and says that he will be his teacher. Jumong is not sure whether a blind man in both eyes can teach him sword skills. Musong comes in and calls Jumong out, comes out and lands his eyes on his mother. They have a conversation and Hamosu hears Lady Yowa's voice. Lady Yowa leave, but leaving Hamosu in a film of memories. Yongpo and the mother get to know where Jumong is hiding. Lady Ye Soya meets the king and asks him whether he knows Buyo has a secret prison. King immediately calls the Prime Minister and Chang-eun confirms the existence of the prison. This frustrates the king and he wants to see that prison. Prime Minister tells this to High Priestess. Hamosu start training Jumong the art of fighting. He shows him the unspeakable sword skills which only few of us knows in this world. Jumong asks him how long will it take for him to attain his level of standard. Hamosu tells him to move closer. He checks him and after he tells him to turn around, he informs him that his bones are too weak. So he start clearing his acupoint and after Jumong faints. Naru informs Daiso that there are 10 soldiers guarding the prison. Daiso tells him to pick some good fighters as they plan to kill Jumong. Marley and the group visits Jumong at the prison. Jumong is worried about Buyang's condition. But he doesn't like Jumong because he is the cause of Buyang's poor conditions. He suggests they fight in order to relive himself. Jumong agrees and they start to fight. He beats him up and Jumong falls down. Jumong return and attack with full power and show Ohi that don't mess with Hamosu's students. Prince Daiso and Yongpo get some swords from Ironware Workshop. They take some good fighters to attack the prison. But the king also is in the preparation to visit the prison. Daiso and the group attack to kill each and everyone inside the prison. They start slaughtering everyone including prisoners. Jumong and Hamosu hears some strange sound. Some soldiers try to escape only to get themselves into shooting targets. Daiso and the group enter the cell to find him there. Since Jumong is about to die, they reveal themselves. Daiso tells him that all relations they have must end now. They start to fight and one soldier attempts to attack Hamosu but he shows him level and beats up some nearby soldiers. Daiso attack but these are just kids. Hamu beats them and puts the sword at Yongpo's neck. They use this chance to run out of the cell. They start slashing their way out of the area. Jumong breaks the poles and they run. They reach the forest, but the killers can't let them go, and they finally surround them at a wide area. Hamosu start beating up these little chicks and Dai-So face him. Dai-So stabs him, but as the senior he combines some techniques and cuts Dai-So and they run. They get a nice place and hide, but Master Hamosu is in bad condition. King Ghimwa reach the prison. General Hube Kai sees some blood marks and first takes some soldiers to investigate the area. They find soldiers guarding the prison killed. They inform the king, but he insists to move inside. They move inside only to see everyone dead and they leave. Dai-So is brought back in bad condition and Lady Ye Soya tells them to make sure that no one gets to know about this. Jumong find an isolated house and hide Hamosu there as he tries to find a doctor. Jumong moves to the town and meet Mali and the group as he requests to see Dochi, but at that moment Wote is spying on them. Dochi is informed that Yuntabal's group has attacked them, so he moves out. This gives a chance for Jumong to see Bayang and takes her away. They move back to the isolated place and Bayang start treating Hamosu. Wote gets to know where Jumong is hiding. King visits Dai-So and asks what happened. Yongpo informs him that was accidentally mauled by a wild beast. The king orders for Priestess Yomilyu immediately. In the morning Bayang decide to move back and inform Jumong that the strange man is recovering. Yomilyu comes and treat Dai-So, and after she move out and inform them that he's recovering, he calls for Prime Minister that Dai-So wasn't mauled by a beast. So they call for Yongpo and ask him to tell them the truth. They continue and ask him who wounded Prince Dai-So. He tells them the truth, how they attempted to kill Prince Jumong. Wote comes and informs So-Sono that has discovered where Jumong is and they decide to go there. They arrive and meet Jumong. He wonders how she discovered his location, so So-Sono proposed Jumong to join their trade group. Jumong tells that the situation he's in now doesn't permit him to join their trade group. Bayang comes at the moment they move inside with Jumong. This leaves So-Sono in a film of imaginations. Hamosu recovers and they have a conversation with Jumong and Hamosu asks him why his brothers wants to kill him. Jumong tells him everything and concludes that they are brothers and he's their half-brother, third son of King Ghimwa, and is known as Jumong. This shocks Hamosu after hearing the name Ghimwa. Priestess Yomilyu informs the king that they created that prison to take charge of untouchable prisoners. And these prisoners include Hamosu. This shocks the king and asks her why she didn't inform him before. So he orders her to use her powers to find him. Later that night he meets Lady Yoa and have a drink. He asks her whether she's happy with him. She says that she's indebted with all his eternity. He asks her whether she misses Hamosu. She admits that she still has his memories and King Ghimwa realize that Lady Yoa still love Hamosu. Jumong informs his fellows that he want to move to the town to look for Musong. He first inform his master as a way of respecting. Jumong reaches the town only to see Dai-So's men searching the whole area. Jia manages to get a conversation with Mo Pamo and have a drink. That night Mo Pamo meets Jumong and they start blaming each other for burning the ironware workshop. He informs him that the king gave access of ironware work to Dai-So and Yongpo. Jumong asks Mo Pamo to get him a sword. Dai-So wakes up only to know that Yongpo informed the high priestess and the prime minister what they tried to do. Dai-So fumes and decide to meet them. They inform him that they are not going to inform the king what he did. Yomilyu tells Dai-So not to jeopardize his position with rash and foolish actions. Dai-So asks why the strange blind man he saw at the prison was protecting Jumong, and it seemed they were so close. Yomilyu informs him that they don't know him. Hamosu requests Bayang to get for him some materials for a letter. The next day Mo Pamo gets some swords for Jumong and brings them to his master. Hamosu gives him a letter and asks him to direct it to King Ghimwa. So-Sono admits that Jumong is not out of his mind. She asks Seong to find out whether Jumong is a prince or not. He asks her whether she have other emotions for him. She denies and move away. Her father suggests So-Sono must go and meet Dai-So because of his injuries. She first refuses, but she later agrees. They head into the palace and they take some medicine for him. Dai-So feels good after seeing her, and they have some conversation. After a while they leave and meet others. Wote comes and informs So-Sono that he has discovered Jumong is the third son of King Ghimwa, which means he's a prince. So-Sono have some memories of him informing her that he's a prince. Jumong meets Muduk and gives her the letter. He tells her not to let anyone know about this letter and it must reach the king. Priestess Yomilyu uses her spiritual powers to know Hamosu's location, but she fails. She meets the king and informs him that Hamosu is blocked by a stronger spirit. In the loyal chambers, King Ghimwa receives the newsletters from Yuntabal. He goes through them and lands on one which is strange from others. He moves to his chambers and reads through it and learns that Hamosu sent him a letter and suggests they meet on the full moon on Mountain Sumi. King Ghimwa rushes out and leaves the letter on the table. One servant sneaks in and takes the letter to the Prime Minister. When Jumong is practicing, Hamosu comes and tells him to escort him to a certain place. That night Prime Minister gets some soldiers also and head to the same destination. Jumong asks Hamosu who he's going to meet and tells him Ghimwa. He continues that he wants to know why he was imprisoned for 20 years yet Ghimwa is the king. They reach a certain spot and Hamosu detects some strange movements. They are ambushed by unknown men in the mask. They start battling them, but they face the wrong opponents. They beat them up and run away. Prime Minister was at the scene watching everything. Hamosu assumes that this ambush is planned by King Ghimwa. The king was at the mountain waiting, but Hamosu didn't show up. The next day Jumong informs Hamosu that the king can't attempt to kill him. For this case Hamosu decide to teach Jumong how to fight and be able to defend himself. The training start and Hamosu first give him fighting tips. King Ghimwa asks the Prime Minister why Hamosu didn't appear before him after having asked to meet. It seems he was afraid of something. So King Ghimwa furiously orders Prime Minister to find where Hamosu is. Jia manages to bring Mopamo to meet Chief Yuntabal. They move inside and Chief Yuntabal serves him wine and food. He after tells him that he want to start an iron workshop for his clan, so he hoped Mopamo would help him. Mopamo fumes and move away as he can't share Buyo's secrets. Yongpo comes with palace emissary to meet Dochi. At the moment Byang serves them and she sees Yongpo. They show him a drawing of Jumong and he says that he knows him. Hamo start giving Jumong the most overpowered techniques from the roots. He orders him to attack and Jumong did so, but Hamosu can't see, but uses his heart to just feel the sword. He informs him that when you hold the sword, it must transform from a cold metal object into an extension of his body filled with energy and blood. So Jumong attempt for the second time and makes some progress. We shall continue from here the next time. Subscribe to the channel to help it out. Thanks for watching.